Anne's Crafty Corner. My gosh, it's been a while, hasn't it? What are you at? Hope everyone is having a fabulous day. I'm not sure, I don't want to jinx it, but I think spring might be here. We've had nothing but rain, drizzle, fog all week. And I think that's supposed to continue over the next couple of days, but the sun has come out a little bit this afternoon and the temperature is pretty good. I think it's about 6 degrees out right now, although we've got wind gusts of 80 to 100 kilometers, so it's still not very nice outside to go out, but at least it's a little brighter. I am on my days off. I'm just getting ready to have dinner soon. Waiting for hubby to come home from work. I figured I would sit down and have a glass of wine and maybe try and get a Flosstube video done, because I haven't done this. I haven't sat down and done an actual Flosstube video since before Christmas. Which is absolutely ridiculous. I think it's the longest time I've gone without doing a Flosstube video since I started doing this years ago. I've done my coffee, crime, and craft videos, but no sit-down Flosstube video. So a little bit of life catch-up. My work schedule changed way back before Christmas. I went back to, I taught our last group of recruits at work, our new dispatchers, took them through the call taking process and taught them that, then went through the dispatching course and taught them that, and got them settled into the comm center. And I have been working, instead of all nights, I've been working a combination of days and nights since then, which has really thrown my body clock out of whack. I'm still not used to it. I'm used to doing 4 12-hour night shifts and then 4 days off. And now I'm doing 2 12-hour days, 2 12-hour nights, and 4 off. And that getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to work is killing me. I'm used to, you know, winding down then to go to bed. So yeah, it's a total reversal there. But anywho, it's been going good. Family is doing well. We are making it through the pandemic, so to speak. Everybody's doing okay. And we recently just got out of lockdown again. We had an outbreak earlier, a couple months ago. We went into lockdown for almost a month again, or maybe 6 weeks. And now we're back to what's level 2 for us, which is as normal as it can be. Still wearing face masks in public and all that kind of stuff, but I think we've got relatively few cases at the moment, something like 11 in the entire province, so that's not bad. Anyway, let's get into this, I guess. Oh, I also had an eye exam done yesterday, and I managed to get what I'm loosely referring to as reverse bifocals. I don't need bifocal glasses to see. I'm nearsighted in the one good eye that I have. I'm nearsighted. So I have glasses for my distance vision. So I don't need them to stitch or read or do my office work or film Flosstube. What I do need my glasses for is when I'm driving or if I'm watching TV and it's across the room on the wall. So I went for my annual eye exam and I said to my doctor, I said, is it possible to get like a fake bifocal or a reverse bifocal? And she was like, what for? I explained to her about the stitching and I said, well, if I'm stitching at home and I'm watching our TV, which is mounted on the wall across the room from me, the television is blurred. Like if I'm watching something with subtitles, I can't read it. But if I put my glasses on, like I can't really see my stitching because I don't need anything close up. So what she's doing is she's actually giving me just an updated prescription, and it's going to be my regular prescription on the normal part of the lens like usual, but she's putting a clear bifocal in the transition in the bottom. So if I got my glasses on, I can see TV across the room, but if I look down, I can see through a clear glass to my stitching. So I think that's really cool. Such a nerdy thing, but anyway, it's a crafty nerdy thing, but it's a good thing. So let's get started. Why don't I show you my knitting and crochet first, because there's a little of that compared to a lot of cross stitch, which I know most of you are here for. So let's just get the knitting out of the way, and if you're just here for the cross stitch, just speed through. Way back when, as you all know, I was working on my Jessica Fletcher sweater, and I've got some notes here in front of me just from my craft journal. And I finally finished that. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have already seen this. But it essentially was a large cardigan, all done in pieces, and then I had to sew it together, and I had to put a zipper in it, which I've never done. So this was all new to me. But here it is, all finished. I've worn it. It fits just like I wanted it to. It fits oversized like a jacket would. There's the pocket, the zipper, other pocket, other sleeve, collar, and I'll show you the back. This is the back of the sweater, all done. I absolutely love it. It's been too cold. Well, it's just getting warm enough now that you could wear this as a jacket, but I have worn it in the house since I've done it just to wear around the house for something cozy and comfy, and I absolutely adore it. It fits really great. So it's more like a spring jacket, or for Newfoundland, and a jacket in the evening in the summer. My sister has been after me to knit her one. She wants one just like this. And I said, first I told her I didn't think she was knit worthy. I don't think that went over too well. Anyway, she convinced me. I have the yarn and stuff. I just need to start knitting it now. So that's gonna be my next project that I'm casting on the needles. So that's my Jessica Fletcher sweater, all done. After I did that, for anyone who follows me on Instagram, you would know that my husband got it in his head when we watched the Ted Bundy movie that came out last year on Netflix. Oh my God, what's it called? Something Vile, Evil Vile. It's the one with Zac Efron in it anyway. So there's a vintage cardigan in that, which is a replica of a cardigan that Ted Bundy wore. And my husband said, oh my gosh, I would love to have a cardigan like that. And not because it's a Ted Bundy cardigan, but just the style of this vintage cardigan. So I didn't have a pattern, and I wanted to try and do it for him for Christmas. And I said, well, it's gonna take too long to knit, so I'm just gonna wing it and try and crochet it. So I'm gonna insert a couple of pictures here, if I can get them to work, of what the original cardigan looked like, as well as some pictures of my husband wearing it. And this is the actual cardigan. So, because my husband's huge, he's 6'1", I think, and he's about 250 pounds, but he's really broad shouldered. So he wears like a 50 tall suit jacket, if that means anything to anybody. So this is the cardigan I made for him. You're not gonna be able to see the whole thing in this frame, because it's huge on me. But I did the right colors. I put the cuffs on. I did the shawl collar. And there's actually a belt, like a tie belt that goes around the waist as well. But for shoulder width, like that's how wide his shoulders are. And this fits him well. So yeah, he's a big guy. So there you go. So this is his cardigan. I did almost finished it for Christmas. I had everything done except for I hadn't had an opportunity to finish the sleeves, but that worked out okay anyway because it gave me the opportunity to make sure it was the right width at the shoulder. And then the sleeves took me a little bit because I had to, while I was crocheting the length of them, I also had to taper them. And a couple of times they were tapered too quickly, so it was too tight. I raveled it back and adjusted, so now it fits really well. So that is hubby's Ted Bundy sweater, for lack of a better term. Whew, it's kind of warm in here actually today. I'm just got my comfy sweater on. My PTSD sweater. Other than that, I'm still working on socks. This was the most recent pair of socks that I finished. There's two, of course, making a pair. These are top-down socks that I did from the cuff down. And I did a regular heel flap and gusset construction. And then just capped off for the toe and did a Kitchener stitch to close in the toe at the end. These fit really well. I used a pattern by Louise Robertson for a super simple cuff down sock, and it's kind of my go-to pattern for just a plain vanilla sock. And to jazz it up, I've been using self-striping yarn. So this pair, as you can see, I did not fussy cut my yarn. When this sock ended off, I just picked up and started knitting this one where the next bit of, you can see there's the blue on the toe of this one, which picks up with the blue at the top of the cuff of this one. So although the colors are the same and the socks match, the transition is not the same. So this one has a blue toe and this one has a gray toe. I don't really care. I think they look great, and I liked working with this yarn. This is the yarn I got that I knit these out of is called A Perfect Pair, and it's a loops and threads yarn from Michaels, so it's not expensive, it's inexpensive. If I wear the socks a lot and they start to wear through, you know, I can darn the heel or not. I'm not going to be too tore up over using really expensive yarn on my socks. And these have a nice bit of stretch, and you know, they're pretty stretchy and they're soft and super comfortable. So I'm not too worried about that. This is the next pair that I've cast on. And again, it's the same wool, same yarn, I should say. Actually, I have the yarn band for this one in here so I can show you what that looks like. There we go. So that's what it's called. It's called Perfect Pair. And I got them in several different colorways. And this one in the ball, this is how this one is knitting up. So it's, again, a nice colored sock, lots of patterning, heel flap and gusset, and now I'm knitting the foot down to the toe. So I'm a nice ways on this first sock of this pair. The other things that I made that were yarn related since Christmas, one of the girls at work just had a set of twin boys, identical twin boys, and I crocheted 2 baby blankets, as well as 2 salt and pepper caps, which are like newsboy hats for, I don't know if salt and pepper cap, if that's just a Newfoundland thing, or if that's something that anyone would know what it is. But it's basically a page boy or a newsboy hat. So I did 2 caps for her boys and 2 blankets. And I'll insert pictures of those because I've already given them to her for the boys. And they turned out nice, and she really liked them. So she was quite pleased with them. So that's all that mattered to me. So that's it for my yarn stuff, I think. I don't think I have anything else. The only thing that I'm currently knitting on my needles right now are those socks, and then I'm going to cast on my sister's sweater at some point over the next week or so. So let's get into the cross stitch. Alrighty. What I did in January of this year is I went back through, I have 2 baskets that are full of whips, which are works in progress. And I figured out which pieces I wanted to concentrate on getting some stitches into this year. And I've pulled just those ones out and put them in a separate basket. And I have them in a rotation now. So what I've been doing is I'm still working on Jay's Folk Witch piece. And what I've decided to do is I'll work on Folk Witch for 1 week and then rotate to a piece that's in my basket for a week. And then go back to Folk Witch for a week and rotate out to a piece in my basket for a week. Other than that, the only other things that I'm concentrating on every Friday, if I can, I'm trying to work on my Death by Cross Stitch. And the 13th of every month, I'm trying to put a few stitches into my Dark 13 stitching piece, which isn't a priority, so I'm not worried if I get some work on it or not. I've only had 1 cross stitch finish. Just 1 this year? Yes, I've only had 1 cross stitch finish so far since January, and that was my Martin Luther King sampler. This is by Stone Street Stitchworks, and I completely finished this piece. I really enjoyed working on it, and I knew it wouldn't take me very long to finish it up. I stitched this on a scrap of 28 count linen that I had, and I stitched it 2 over 2. And I recharted the colors myself. I came up with my own colors for it. And I've shared that in a previous video. Sorry, with the sun coming in, well, it's not sunny now, it's overcast again, but with the light coming in there, it's washing out the color a bit. But that's my finish. So now I need to get a frame and wash and press that one so I can frame it. And other than that, let's pull over. Don't want to spill my wine. This is my basket that I have the whips in that I'm concentrating on for this year. So let's start with Folk Witch, because anybody who knows me or who follows me on Instagram, you've got to be sick of this piece by now, right? I think I'm into the 3rd year of working on it, but I'm hoping to have it finished by the end of May. I'll insert a picture with it out of the Q-Snap where it's completed up to. So what you're looking at, or what you should have just seen, is a picture of the entire thing almost done except for the bottom right-hand corner. And this is where I am now. I have picked it up. I've put it back in my 11 by 11 Q-Snap. And I'm working on the bottom corner. So this is the very last section that I need to stitch. I think this is the equivalent of 2.5 pages, because coming across here, I think is a page break above. And then I have 1, 2, and a strip of another page here. So it's about the equivalent of 2.5 or 3 pages. I'm getting them done. The stitches are super, super tiny. They are 1/1 on 25 count. You can see her feet here, her boots, where she's got her feet crossed over underneath her chair. This is the bottom of her broom coming down here. Just don't know if you can see that very well, but that's what that is. This is her skirt flowing down here. So yeah, I'm getting close to a finish on this. I'm getting really excited about having it done. I'm getting really excited about sending it back to Jay so she can have it. And I'm hoping to have it done by the end of May. So that's where I am with that one. My dark 13 stitching is arsenic and old lace. This is a chart by The Little Stitcher. I got it off of Etsy as a PDF download. This is just the black and white copy I printed off. This is where I am with this piece. I have arsenic and old across the top. I've finished the people and the little dining room scene with the gentleman with the glass of wine. And I've separated the floor ceiling here, and there's a basement scene underneath. So that's where I am with this little piece. Again, I only work on this 1 day a month if I have time to, so. But that'll be done probably in the next couple of months. Where am I gonna start piling these up? Let's move this out of the way. Bear with me here. Okay. It's one piece. In March, Abby from Abby Bella Stitch came up with a hashtag for Instagram to Stitch Asia and promote Asian designers, cross-stitch pieces, sewing pieces, needlepoint, anything created that was Asian themed or done by an Asian designer. I have Big Red Ship of Life by Ink Circles. Don't have a picture of it here now, but I'm stitching this using some Silks for You hand-dyed floss. So I pulled this out to work on in March, and this is what I have done of that design. It's based on Tampan ship cloths, which were weavings done in Sumatra. And that's as much as I have done. I did get a fair bit of this completed during March month. I think I did this entire section here, all of this, as well as this section underneath those flowers there, I believe. A lot of little tiny motifs. And this one as well, I'm stitching this 1/1 on 25 count fabric. So the stitches are also super tiny. Again, why I can't wear my glasses when I'm doing it, because I just see it with my bare eyes. Like I don't need magnification or anything like that, so. All right, I'm gonna try and get through some of these a little faster. I'm already at 24 minutes. which I know isn't very long for a Flosstube video, but I don't like my videos to be really long. I like them to be compact and neat and simple, but it's just been so long since I've done one. This next piece is the Pat Rogers tapestry sampler. This is just my working copy. And I know for a fact I can get this finished this year. I'm getting really close. And this is where I currently am with this piece. I'm stitching this on an old piece of 18 count Aida. Now this will tell you how old it is. Do you see all this around the edges? That's glue that's left over from when I used to tape the edges of my fabric. So we're talking 30 years ago, 29, 28 years ago. And there's no tape left on there. I pulled the tape off, but again, the edges aren't fraying really because of the residual glue left behind. I love this piece. I love the colors and the shading in the piece. There's no back stitching. All of the texture and the shading is done with really, really lovely use of color. So as you can see, I just have to finish off the top piece of corner of border here and come down the side to meet up with the bottom. And I have a few letters left to do. The border takes quite a bit of time to do because there are a fair number of color changes in that, but it's really worth it. That was one of my unicorn pieces that I really wanted to do, and I was lucky enough to find the chart, and it's already it's going to be rehomed. When I get that finished, it's going to Ali in Australia. We're doing a chart swap. So this one is my Death by Cross Stitch. This is the one that I try to work on every Friday if I have time to do it. It's Death by Cross Stitch by Long Dog Samplers, the chart that's created by them. And I don't have a whole lot, well, I'm not gonna take it out of the Q-snap because I like keeping it in the Q-snap so I can just pick up and work on it. But I have everything done down to the last section, and I'm working across here now. I've just finished that. So where I am on the chart, I'm actually in this section right here. This is what I have left to do. That, and I have just this bottom piece in here to do. All of this up here is done, and everything above this is completely done. So it's still going to take me a while to finish. I don't know if I'll have it done by the end of the year. I hope so. But it's a really lovely piece to work on, and if you're following me on Instagram, you'll see my regular updates on that. This one is also being stitched 1/1 on 25 count fabric, and I'm using DMC 939 as the color, which is like a really dark navy. Sometimes that doesn't show up in the pictures. It looks almost black. What else is in here? Oh, this is another piece I'm also had to work on this year, and I just worked on this week. I don't have a full picture of the entire thing because this is a Long Dog sampler chart that came out in it came out in the Gift of Stitching back in 2007. I'm lucky enough to have a PDF of the Gift of Stitching collection, like the magazine, and I just printed off black and white copy of the pattern. But this is the 18th Century Band Sampler by Long Dog Samplers. It came out as a mystery 4-part sampler, and each month for 4 months, they released a part at a time. So like first part, then part 2, part 3, part 4. So I did just work on this one this week. I had it out for this week's rotation. And I'm stitching this one on 28 count Monica. That's what it says. 28 count Monica that I got when I was visiting Allie in Australia. It's just a creamy 28 count fabric. It's an even weave, not a linen. And there we go. The top border is now completely finished. Band number 2 is completely finished with the little ducks. I love those. They are the cutest. They're the little American black ducks. And this round, I also started from here filling in the rest of band 3. So I think this was released as section 1, and then these couple bands were released as section 2, and then there's a section 3 and a section 4. I've stitched parts of the bands so far down just so I could see what they looked like and get a sense for the colors, and I really like them. It's really pretty. Unusual colors for me. I don't stitch a whole lot of brightly colored things. These are very bright, summery, spring type colors, but it's beautiful. And I actually made a mistake in this band with the ducks. So on the chart, it was supposed to be 3 ducks facing in this way and 3 ducks facing in this way, in towards the center. And I just stitched them all the same. But then when I got to the last one, I said, you know what? I'm gonna put in a little odd duck. So I've got one little odd duck facing backwards. So that makes me chuckle when I look at it, because I don't know, I've got an odd sense of humor. So that's where that one is. I'm putting these away as I'm going because otherwise I won't do it. Now, this is another piece that I'm working on. I started it last year, I believe, from Owl Forest Embroidery. It's a Russian company. This is a Russian kit, that's why the non-English. I think there is some English on this. Nope, it's all in Russian. This is a beautiful little piece, and I wanted to work on this some more this year. And I've just kept it in the box it came in. It's all variegated floss that came with the kit. And you just saw the picture of what it's supposed to look like with the whale. Here we go. Right, so it's a magical whale. And this is where I am. I am stitching it on the fabric that came with the chart. It's like a buttery, creamy yellow, which is not gonna show up because the sun is shining here now, so it's washing out the color of the fabric, but that's what I have done so far. You can see the variegation in the thread changes color as you're stitching. There you go. So that's where that piece is. I haven't had an opportunity, this one hasn't come up in my rotation yet since Christmas, but it's in my rotation, so at some point this will get pulled out to work on this year. Whew, I picked 12 pieces to work on. This is, oops. This is And a Forest Grew. by Rosewood Manor. That's what it's going to look like. It's the actual chart. I started this several years ago when I saw Brian Blitz Stitch do this one, and I absolutely fell in love with it. However, I'll show you the floss list. The floss list is quite extensive. I think there's 104 colors used in this piece. It's a lot. And I'm stitching this one on 25 count, and I'm stitching it over 1 because I didn't want it to be massive. So this is where I am so far. You can see all the little itty bitty trees and the birds and the owls, the rabbit. There's a deer. The trees are all different. They're different colors, different styles. And I've started the large tree in the center that has the wording. I did work on this one already this year. So now it's back in my rotation for the next time it comes up. If you have questions about any of these, by the way, just pop them in the comment section, and I'm pretty good about responding to comments. So I'll try and get you whatever information you're looking for on it. We're now 36 minutes in. Oh my gosh. Okay. This one is a Mystic Stitch piece. It's a full coverage. And when I finish Folk Witch, I think this is going to become my next focus to finish piece. It's Elvis Presley Roustabout. It's a monochromatic piece. And this was actually gifted to me from Allie, from Allie's Stitching Studio. Allie had purchased this, and it's not a PDF. She bought the actual hard copy of the pattern. So because it's not a PDF, I can't use Pattern Keeper with it. So I'm doing it the old-fashioned way with the, you know, coloring off the chart as I go. I have not had an opportunity to work on this one yet this year. But when I do go to pick it up, this will be where I'm starting from. There you go. The top of Elvis Presley's big head. So this is his shiny black hair, of course, and it's a monochromatic gray background. This one I am stitching 2/1 on the 18 count Aida. Allie had this started, so she had a nice portion of this page already done, and she had started stitching into the black hair as well. And I just picked it up and have gone from there. I think she had the equivalent of like a page and some of the black done. And I've done the rest of it here. My mother is a huge Elvis Presley fan, so I'm gonna be working on this and try and get it done. Actually, we took my sister, my younger sister and I, we took my mother to Memphis a few years ago. We went to Nashville with her, and we took her to Memphis and went to Graceland and did the whole tour and stayed at the Heartbreak Hotel, and we did the whole thing with her in like a 5-day whirlwind trip. That was crazy fun. but super tiring. By the time we got home, we needed a vacation from our vacation. Okay, now what have I got here? This is the only Christmassy piece that I picked out to work on in my rotation. Because I typically, and I don't even know if I will work on this until December, to be honest with you. December month for me, I usually work on all things holiday related, but I figured if I wanted to work on something in the middle of the year, I would pick up this piece. This is a Pana kit. Again, this comes from a Russian company, and it's the Christmas Moose. And it is a kit, so it came with the floss and everything needed to complete him, the beads and everything. And that's what I have done of him. I've worked on the moose's face and his ears, and he is super cute. This is the start of one of his antlers coming out here on the end of his ear. He is too stinking adorable. This thing is such a cute piece to work on. It's fun. Oh, that's my cell phone. I believe this is a 16 count Aida, if memory serves me. There are English instructions in the back along with 6 other languages. But I think it is 16 count Aida. I don't see where it says that now, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And so I'm stitching 2/1 on the 16 count Aida. And again, super cute piece to work on. And the last piece for the year that I have already worked on at least once this year is, it's a Heaven and Earth design, because it wouldn't be me if there wasn't more than one full coverage piece, because I love these things. This is a Heaven and Earth design. It is Old World map. It's huge. It's quite large. It's 450 wide by 376 high. They suggest 25 count fabric, but I'm doing mine on 18, so it's going to be even bigger. And this is what I have done so far. Now, I started this a few years ago and then never picked it up after. So when I did start this, I was stitching in, doing parking. That's why I have all of these threads parked. Oops, that's washing that out. That's why I have all of these threads parked at the bottom of this piece. Now I'm stitching cross country again, which is my preferred way to stitch. I stitch color by color, cross country, page by page, but I feather my page edges so that you don't get a harsh line in between for the tension of your stitches. Anyone who gets lines, noticeable lines in their stitching when they're stitching column by column, it's a tension issue. So it's when you finish off one column and you start the next column, there is a break in the tension of the stitching, and that's what's causing the lines in the stitching. Likewise, if you were to just stop short right at the edge of a page break, you would potentially see a line for every page that you did. But I feather mine. I've always done it that way. Even when I was stitching in columns, I feathered my columns. As you can see, when I did this page here, I did feather out into this. So what happens, what that looks like, is on the back, you can see where I was stitching this red line across, and I kept going into the next row. Likewise with these brown stitches, I kept going into the next rows. And that, of course, shows up in here where I've gone across, but it also keeps the tension even as you're going across your piece. As you can see, this is going to be huge. I left room for a 3x3 border. So it is quite a massive piece. I don't know why I get myself into these things. The rest of my whips, I have them in my cabinet downstairs. They are languishing and they are patiently waiting for me to pick them up at some point and work on them. But this year, these are the ones I decided that I wanted to focus on. And like I said, right now my focus is getting that faux witch piece finished. And when I get that one finished, the next one I'm gonna focus on is going to be the Elvis one. And I'll start rotating that every second week. So I think that's what my plan, it has been for the last couple of years. I take my focus to finish piece and I work on that every second week and rotate something else in between so that I don't get bored, because I get bored with these pieces if I have them in my hands for too long. So that is all of my cross stitch. The very last thing I'm gonna show or I'm gonna talk about are some gifts that I have received, because these are phenomenal. I was lucky enough to win a Valentine's Day giveaway this year, and Sweet Allie also chose to send me one of her specially made project bags, which I received a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to show those to you. So the giveaway that I won a giveaway from Lowry Workstands. Yep, you heard that right. So the UK company did a giveaway on their Instagram page. Like, share, comment, tag somebody, and you would be entered for an opportunity to win a Lowry Workstand. And I don't remember the last time I won something, and I got a text, I don't know if it was that evening or the next day, and I got a direct message, sorry, from Lowry Workstands telling me that I had won the contest, the Valentine's Day contest. I nearly fell over. Like, I didn't even know if it was a joke, if someone was pretending to be them. I figured it was a scam. I had to go check the account and make sure that the message came from the actual people who had posted the giveaway, and it was legit. I was over the moon. So because it was a Valentine's Day prize, they gave you 3 colors, I think it was, that you could choose from. It was like the red stand, a hot pink one, I think the color is called Candace, and their newest color, which was the glossy black. And I decided to go with Candace. So I got, a few weeks later, it showed up on my doorstep, a Lowry Workstand. I'll insert I did a little unboxing video. I'll just toss that in here for you to see. Unbox. Ooh, look, it's hot pink. This is the color I chose. It's called Candace. It's a hot pink. So this is the base plate, and these are the, this is the clamp, and this is the stand portion. Okay, this is so easy. There's literally one screw that goes in the bottom of the base plate. That is done. Good and sturdy. I put the pin in to try and set this bar at the height that I want. And now I just have to put on the clamp. Okay, so there it is, all set up. Super easy to put together. Now I just need to figure out which side of the chair. I was overjoyed with that. I couldn't believe I won that work stand. I'm so happy with it. You can't even imagine. So what that means now, I now have my current work stand downstairs in my stitching area that my husband made for me. And I put the Lowry stand upstairs on this level of the house. So when I want to stitch upstairs, which I do a lot in the summer, I also take my stitching out on the deck with me a lot in the summer. I said, perfect. I can now just bring the Lowry stand out, set it up, stitch in the sun, enjoy it. I'm very, very pleased with it. So thank you so much to Lowry for doing that giveaway and for blessing me with that work stand. It is phenomenal. Super easy to put together. Super easy to figure it out how to like put your piece in it. If you're using Q-snaps, there's actually a corner clamp that you can purchase. I don't have one yet. I will probably invest in one. If you're using hoops or some other square type frame, it'll go into the existing clamp fine. But it's fabulous. I really like it. And this is what Allie sent me. She made this gorgeous project bag. How pretty is that? So Allie, I don't know if anyone watches her stuff because she's gone through periods of uploading stuff to Flosstube and then taking it down, but Allie is a phenomenal stitcher. She's got a studio that I could go shop in her studio. She's got enough stash to keep her and me and probably a couple of other people going past our lifespan. And that's not a, that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, she's got a lot of gorgeous stuff. But Allie is also a quilter. So this is a quilted project bag. It's quite large. Like, this is a 11 by 11 Q-snap that also has extra fabric. And I would have no trouble putting this as well as the threads I need in this bag. It's quite large. She did it like quilt blocks, sewed it all together, appliqued on these floral pieces, put a jean pocket in the front, which is super cute, quilted the whole thing by with her machine. It's all quilted. This is the back. You can see the quilting better there with the way the light is here. I mean, how adorable is that? It has a tag, so you can write on it what project you have in it. I took the tag off for now because she won a contest on the Crafty Curators Instagram, and she sent a needle minder, a scissor fob, and this little zipper pull with it, and I put the zipper pull on this bag. Inside, really nice lining, right? She's got two different pieces of lining. I don't know if you can see that, but they're creamy colors. And it's well constructed. The zipper's great. It's large. It's great. Love it. And she sent me a couple of other patterns, cross-stitch patterns, but the one she did send me that I have wanted for quite some time is this one. It is Debbie Patrick's Victorians Across America. It is the Winchester Mystery Mansion. I am dying to start this piece. This is a really, really interesting home If you don't know anything about it, Google it, look it up. It has a super interesting history. And as a matter of fact, Olivia and Elena, they went and did pictures for their Christmas cards a couple years ago outside of the real Winchester mansion. And I think Elena is stitching this as well. So Allie has several, if not all, of Debbie Patrick's designs, and they're stunning. Debbie Patrick is a phenomenal designer. They're older pieces, and I don't think they're harder to come by now. But this is fantastic. So I can't wait to start this. But I refuse to start it until I finish something huge. So once I get a huge finish, I have this in this project bag, and it's gonna house this project, and I'm gonna start it as soon as I finish something big. So if I finish Folk Witch, look out. This is what I'm gonna start. Okay, that is all the cross stitch. We're 55 minutes in. Oh my God, I've been talking for an hour. And I still haven't finished my glass of wine, so I'm doing okay for an hour. I've only had a few sips. I don't think there's anything else I need to share with you right now. If I think of something, I will be sure to upload it in my next video. It will not be as long the next time. I have been doing my coffee, crime, and craft series. Everybody seems to enjoy that, or at least a lot of people do. I've gotten some really, really good feedback from that series. I've been uploading them every couple of weeks. With Easter last week, I kind of skipped a week, but I will have another coffee, crime, and craft video up this week coming, this Friday. And I really like doing those as well. What I've been doing is researching either an unsolved crime or a crime that has been solved that's interesting to me for some reason. And I've been talking about the story of it, what happened with the crime, what the theories or the scenarios were, and been chatting about that while I've been working on some sort of craft project. And so you don't see my face when I'm doing it because I'm showing what I'm working on at the time. It's like a Stitch With Me video, but instead of just chatting about whatever, I have a specific topic I'm talking about. So I hope you can join me for some of those. So my intent going forward, I know I've said this before, but this is the first Flosstube video I've done since Christmas. So my intent is probably to upload one of these and every second week, and upload a coffee, crime, and craft every second week. So every 2 weeks you should see a video from me at the very least, whether it be a coffee, crime, and craft, or whether it be a Flosstube video. So I hope you enjoyed all of that. I'm gonna let you go in peace. You could have fast forward through this or skip parts of it if you want, whatever. Any questions at all, I'm always open to feedback and questions. I love chatting with people who watch my videos. Feel free to leave some comments for me so that I can respond to you. I've been doing this for several years now, and I still enjoy it. Especially with the way things have been in the last year and a half. Not being able to travel, not being able to meet up with friends that enjoy these crafts as much as I do. Flosstube has been a way to keep in contact with that community. And, you know, whether I'm watching your videos or you're watching mine, the comment section is a way to stay connected to people. So feel free to drop me a comment, say hi, leave an emoji, whatever. If you like my content, I'll also put a link down below for the Buy Me a Coffee app. I usually only put that link in my coffee, crime, and craft videos, but I'll pop it down below in this one as well. It's a nice way to support people that you're watching on YouTube. And that's about it. I hope everybody is having a fabulous day. I hope you're enjoying spring no matter where you are. Or I guess if you're in the southern hemisphere, I hope you're enjoying fall. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks, guys. Thanks.